welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, Adam, D-Rose, Eli, and a whole bunch of people in the 24/7 Flat Earth Politics Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Let's get it on!
Hey, we love you. We love you,
Buenos
Nathan.
dias.
Very good. I love me too. It's good to know somebody else who does. We're here on a Friday because we've got a motive to be here on a Friday, which is to say, ever since the guys went down to Antarctica, down being a begging assumption of a ball, there's been plenty of people who need an education in what science actually is. So, for the purposes of doing exactly that, we are here on a Friday, this year at least, to promote the idea of an education for all in what they learn in 5th grade, which is science and the scientific method. What it is to recognise what it isn't. So hopefully at some point during today's visit we'll get through that. If there's a lull, we'll see. I know somebody had a question just before I started this show live, so whoever that was, feel free. Don't be shy. There's only 30 people watching. We've only just started. Maybe that lull is immediately. Go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe just start having a conversation and maybe Batman Inc. will pipe up.
Oh, fair enough. Well, like I say, I do have a motivation for being here, which is to explain what science is. So with that in mind, I'm going to just go through it until somebody interrupts me, which is probably quite quickly. We'll see how I get on. So science, so that you understand what science isn't, it's physics. That's the overarching topic, which is physical and natural world governed by natural science. So what is that? Well, it's the scientific method. It has 3 main steps. Step 1, observe natural phenomena. That's something occurring in nature. Step 2, formulate a scientific prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis. And step 3, actualize the hypothesis, otherwise known as an experiment. So in order to formulate a hypothesis, first step, you must observe something happening in nature, because it's the study of the physical and natural world. So something must be occurring for you to be studying it, for you to be asking, I wonder why that happened. So once you've observed something in nature occurring, you have half of the scientific prediction already. You've got half of the hypothesis. The dependent variable is the naturally occurring phenomena. The only thing you need then is a suppositional cause, something you think will cause that effect that you observed in nature. Once you have that, you've got a full scientific prediction. An if and then statement. If my predicted cause, then the phenomena we observed at step 1. An if and then prediction, yet to be validated. So step 3, validate your prediction. Vary that which you think will cause the effect. Manipulate your presumed cause and see if it induces the effect you observed in nature. If it does, you validate your alternative hypothesis. Why is it called an alternative? It sits alongside something else called a null, otherwise known as a zero difference result. Disappointing though it may be to vary and manipulate something you think will cause an effect and have it not cause the effect, it validates the null hypothesis. You can put a tick next to that part of the prediction. If A, not B, oh, disappointing, but validating the null, tick, proven. It wasn't that. Proven by experiment. And while you're not intentionally trying to test for the null, you don't want to have it not happen when you vary your presumed cause. You want to induce the effect. You want to validate the alternative hypothesis, your presumed cause of the effect you observed in step 1. So to summarise the scientific method. Step 1, observe something happening in nature, a phenomena. Step 2, presume a cause for that effect. Step 3, actualise your presumed cause by varying it and hopefully inducing the effect you observed at step 1. Once you have validated the cause of an effect you observed in nature, you can then form theory, a scientific theory. All of the words used in my description are words that are regularly hijacked. So people will use science words like the word science itself, but also hypothesis, prediction, and theory to bullshit you about things like being on a ball. Category error. Shapes aren't phenomena. Same goes for flat. You're not going to be validating a flat earth with science. It's not a phenomena. Something happening is a phenomena. If it's something that's happening because a man made it happen, that's not a natural phenomena, that's synthetic. We already know the cause, a man made it happen. So, that's it. That's why we're here on a Friday, to let you all know about what science is. So when somebody starts to suggest these science words alongside a just so story, you'll know what science isn't. I'm done. Can't believe I got all the way through the end. Marvellous. Hey, Chocolate, we're in politics. So be on your best behaviour. Hello. So the other motivation for doing the rounds is to make sure people aren't using flat earth measurements when they believe they're on a ball. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody is entitled to their belief. If you want to believe you're on a spinning ball flying through a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum, then you can. It's just you're not going to get to use our flat earth measurements, which are all of them, if you're going to assert that belief. You could just have your belief and go away. Don't be telling me you're going to measure Earth flat because it's a really big ball.
Nathan, not to go back, but can you just break down what it means when you talk about man-made?
Yeah, when I say man-made, in the most simplest of terms, it means that a man made it. I hope that's clear.
Because they're saying that, oh, man's not natural. No, that's not what we're saying.
Men are natural. If there's a naturally occurring phenomena that happens for a man, you could pretty much summarise that as a subcategory of physics, couldn't you? Biology. Yeah, there's plenty of naturally occurring phenomena in people that you can study. Yeah, medicine. There's plenty of scientific exploration that is validated through cause and effect reasoning. That's the scientific method that establishes known causes for known effects within people. So it's not that men aren't natural. It's just if I make something happen, like a pendulum, I wonder why that did that. No, you made that happen. That's a man-made. Any pendulums in nature? What are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I mean.
Perfect.
Marvellous. 50 people watching. Please share the show if you've not done so already. I know we've only just begun. It'd be nice to get 100 people watching as we are in the politics Discord server today. Hopefully one of my mods, and there it goes, Divergent Droid. Thank you very much indeed for spamming links in my live stream chat. If you did want to take part in the live stream chat today, as in join and ask a question, we're in a different server than we typically are in, which is the politics server. I say not typically. I've been coming here for every Friday for a year. So we are typically here on a Friday, so you know the routine if you're a regular. But if you're not, there'll be a link going by to the politics Discord server, which I encourage you join. Yeah, D-Rose.
Yeah, to add on to what you're saying, it's a fraud, waste, and abuse and a bastardization of using science when you're talking about doing tests or demonstrations, whether it's MK Ultra. I hear a lot of people saying, well, the science shows socially. No. Just because you can make certain people do certain things or certain people not do certain things, social engineering, as they call it, that has nothing to do with science. Once again, the
it's another good word, though.
Science is...
Yeah, perfect. So the word you've picked is perfect because it's another science word, because it's got a context in science, which is test. In science, a test is an experiment. It tests whether the independent variable, that's presumed cause, will induce the dependent variable, that's the phenomena you're studying. So a test is you varying and manipulating that which you assume will cause an effect that you observed in nature. That's an experiment. It's called a scientific test, or hypothesis actualization, or experiment. Yeah, these words get hijacked all the time. Goodyear tyres are better than Michelin. Science has proven it through extensive measurements of their grip through these bends. You're like, that's not science. That's maths. You're measuring something.
Exactly.
Bunch of pirates hijacking our stuff all the time. Stop using our stuff.
Yeah, stop using our stuff. Stop using flat earth measurements to suggest that you're on a ball. It's really irritating. Especially if you're going to mock us for being flat earthers. It's like, how dare you mock me for being a flat earther and then use my flat earth measurements to suggest you're on a really big ball that you're measuring flat? What?
Especially when they admit that there are no flat surfaces on a sphere.
Yeah, well, he got told off for that, didn't he?
Good morning.
Hey, Eli.
Yo, what's up, bro?
Yeah, what up? And you know what, Neil, what you just said?
I had to go back to my better. Well, I don't know if this mic is that much better because I'm also.
I heard train wreck. I'm not sure if this mic's much better.
It's a new phone too, so I don't know what else. You know what?
Yeah, it's all right.
New York guys are just not gonna get it right.
Why does it sound like that?
Are you a New York guy? I didn't know you were in New York, Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Can I mock you for that? Is that something I can mock him for?
What do you mean? I'm in New York too.
I'm just checking. I don't know the score with these things.
No.
Wait, hold up. If you didn't mock me when I said I was from New York when I came here like 10 years ago.
No, I'm finding new things out all day. I found out 3 days ago that if you're black, it doesn't just mean that there's a unilateral acceptance of your blackness. There's a how black are you scale, which I had no idea about. Well, I find these things out, and I'm like, wow, I can leverage that in humorous terms. No worries. Excellent. I like new news.
More with women, though, right, Chalk?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. It depends.
Why, you
Well, no.
guys are getting like that too? What's going on?
I know, isn't it
like that
nuts?
both sides.
Not
like-
us guys, but yeah, some guys.
You're not us three, but yeah, there's, like I said, there's cultural and then there's skin complexion. I mean, there's literally 2 ways of being you're not black. Whether you're Patrick Mahomes, you dig what I'm saying? That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I got you.
Or whether
I got you
Yeah,
from
or
yesterday,
whether-
and I picked
or
up on that.
or
I'm
whether
glad
you're-
you clarified that, actually, D-Rose, because that was something I was going to ask
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Because you were saying about, I can't remember who the person that was being discussed, somebody black, obviously, but you were saying that they were a sellout, and you'd contextualised it in terms of what they'd done, as opposed to the tone of their skin. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So depending on your behaviour, you can be described as not black enough, which is also interesting.
Yeah, they
Exactly.
always that I'm a 1 on the blackness scale, especially being from New York. People say out of 10, 1 out of 10.
So you're bragging.
Yeah, Neil actually on this scale somehow is higher than me. They said so.
Or did you say you're very black or not very black? I didn't quite hear you.
He's
not
bottom
very
scale.
black. Even
Not very
Neil
black.
is more black than me. They said as a joke. That's how to my wetness.
because that's how they because it's a behavior, it's an attitude, it's a culture type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got the cult.
I like how you're justifying it, D. To me, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but it's hilarious.
Thank you.
I've got to
Thank you.
admit.
To us too.
Yeah. Anyway, if we're moving on, QE said I was in trouble. I'd love to get to that. That's the only reason I came up.
Not
What-
that I'm
what-
aware of.
I wanted to talk about what Neil was talking about on
I clearly
No,
I wanted to
I'm sorry,
take that
listen.
moment to do what I wanted to do. What the hell
Go
are you
ahead,
doing, bro?
take it.
It's that black on black crime.
No,
Blacks, I'm just going to say it. Here they go.
yeah, let's not turn it into something it isn't.
Brought the hood to politics today.
saying we're in politics as well. So he told the guys in politics not to let me forget. And trust me, I've been thinking about it in my sleep. So what did I get wrong?
Well, what are you in trouble about?
That's what we don't know.
I don't know.
QE will tell us
So
when we
it's
get
not even
serious.
that serious, man.
Huey said that all the guys were going to chew me out. That y'all
No.
had a talk.
By the way, people in politics, feel free to interject. If there's anything you want to pipe up about, globe, flat, concave, whatever you like, feel free. We'll just chat indefinitely until someone does pipe up, by the way. So don't stand on ceremony.
Are
You
you
won't
done?
get told off for interjecting, is what I'm saying.
Are you done, Eli?
Oh, you're so polite
So
to
that
each other.
No, that was funny. No, that was funny what QE was saying because you were kind of all over the place. But anyway, I want to go back to what Neil was saying about there are no flat surfaces on a sphere or globular shaped thing, and that's on any scale. That's on any scale. You know, you got a level with the ruler on it. You could take any size measurement ruler that's horizontal and leveled, linearly straight, and you cannot find a flat surface anywhere. You can hit a point of 1 millimeter upon that little scale, or maybe 2 millimeters, but you will never find a flat surface. That's on any scale. A ping pong, a marble, a basketball, a beach ball, a freaking Universal Studios globe when you go to Florida. There is none. So stop doing it.
Yeah,
but
but what
trying
about
to
the
do.
Earth? It's so big.
I'm sick of hearing it. Sick of people using
Well,
flat Earth measurements. It wouldn't be so bad if they
Well,
didn't
you-
mock us. You're like, yeah, okay, have your ball belief. And you understand it's flat? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, actually, I think if we take these flat Earth measurements, I can turn it into a really big ball that I'm not measuring. All right, that's really interesting. Yeah, isn't it just? But that's not what we get. We get, you're a retard, flat earther. That's why we respond in disdain now when you use our measurements. It's like, no, you can accept Earth's flat if you're going to use those measurements. That'd be all of them, by the way, in case anyone's like, what measurements would those be? All of them. That's how Earth's measured, it's flat. It's not shocking that Earth's flat when you know how it's measured. Why? Well, because it's measured flat in all respects. Name a respect that Earth's measured, it will be flat. When it comes to ball measurements, we don't get any, because there aren't any. I had to ask a guy in the pre-show 10 times for his globe measurements. He couldn't quite believe he was being asked for them. Didn't quite understand what he was being asked for, because up until that point he'd been measuring Earth flat, telling everyone on the panel how it's just because it's a really big ball that I'll be measuring it flat. And the panelists in Discord were asking him, well, how big of a locally flat area are you measuring? In a way, this
Shouldn't it be locally curved if it's a ball?
yeah, should be locally
Yes.
curved. If you were measuring it curved, it would be curved. But it isn't. It's flat. So that's how it's measured.
Well, you guys are not down with disco ball Earth?
Well, like lots of little flat planes that are attached to angles we don't see.
No,
Bit like
but
on
that's
screen now.
You can't
Essentially
have
what they're
that.
saying, right? When they say it's locally flat.
Yeah, like we've
They're
got on
trying to
screen.
convince us
They
it's
can
a
project
giant
a
disco ball.
Well, they can pretend that there's an area tangential to a Dingleberry Earth as depicted on screen for my live stream audience, right? But they're not measuring it from that tangential plane. If you're going to suggest that it's measured with respect to anything that's in this model, it's in the centre of hell. That's the actual angle. It's depicted coming through the tangential plane that doesn't exist.
Well, when they say a tangent to the horizon, you can't really have a tangent to a not physical place, can you?
But they don't have a horizon on a
Oh,
ball.
hold on. Well,
Where's the horizon?
it is physical.
Oh, let's just ask Eli. On this depiction on screen now, point out the horizon. Good luck.
When you say that, I don't know what I'm looking at. Where would it be? I don't know.
Well, it wouldn't. You can't have a horizon on a ball tard. The
That's
slope intercept
right.
formula. So we've done everything
And
we
the
needed to do. We're at 25 minutes in, 70 people watching live. Smash that share button if you've not done so already. 20 minutes in, I've already told them about what science is. we had a debate with a dude in the pre-show, told him off for using flat Earth measurements. 2 or 3 white knights tried to step in to ask me about my attitude, so I smilingly called them all idiots also. Well, that's it, man. We've had a good day already. We're only 20 minutes into the live stream. Awesome. Now it's Stony silences every time we
said
read.
refraction yet?
Nobody said
Hold on, I want to
refraction
clear
yet, no.
something up. Physical, it is physical horizon.
I like how you're
Refraction.
obviously engaged with anti-flat Earth debate, Liam, and now you're asking, is anybody else talking about refraction? No, but I bet you are.
Yeah, I hear it every day. I love it now. It gets me going.
Respond with welcome to flat Earth. That's it. Oh, refraction. Oh, right.
Well-
Not geometric sphere edge horizons then. Welcome to flat Earth.
Little refraction in the morning. Nothing wrong with that.
You'll need a horizontal plane of reference to derive a surface level measurement for a horizon below surface level to refract.
Oh dear.
Yeah, something else for anybody who's in here, because you're all a bit quiet. Hopefully this will trigger you if you're on the ball side of this. You may not be aware, if you are a ball believer, but your ball belief is based on those flat Earth measurements I told you Earth would be measured with in all instances. So they're not limited to me suggesting that any measurements of Earth currently, if you were to go out and actually measure Earth in any way, shape or form, your ball came from those measurements also. Yeah? Flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the same Polaris style was mentioned in the pre-show. That's the basis for your globe. It keeps flashing up for my live audience. You guys in Discord can't see it, but the description of that flat plane measured with Polaris is what's on screen for my audience. It's describing a ball with you in the centre of it. That's how the heliocentric model's depicted, with you in hell to describe orbital motion. Not that anybody's in hell at the centre of a ball Earth, with angles being measured off a flat plane. It's not really possible to reify that idea of the world, or I almost said model. Yeah, Earth's measured flat for your globe, Faith. Just in case anybody in here wasn't aware of that. For you to believe you're on a ball, we must measure Earth flat. It's the origin of the ball. Learn something new every day, eh? Don't hear any gasps.
They're related.
Go on, refracted, sorry. Nobody was gasping.
Oh, well, their religion's very aware of that. They teach them that the earth is measured flat. It's part of the rhetoric that they cling to. And they come up with the excuses for how curved it's not.
Yeah, exactly what happened in the pre-show before you got here, John. Exactly that. And there was...
Exactly.
I can't remember who it was, but someone was basically playing with him like he was food. I'll credit him if I can scroll up. It was endless. It was like, how big of a flat plane are you measuring locally? It's just playing with him. Very amusing it was too.
There's that famous quote, they need a flat earth more than we do.
Yeah, that was Refracted Curvature that first said that a couple of years ago. And that sparked something in me when he is in exasperation when he was arguing on Flat Earth Debate server. And they're constantly appealing to flat plane measurements. And in frustration while he's trying to explain that to him, I'll try and parrot you. I know you're here, John, listening to this. But he's like, you guys need a flat Earth more than we do! Because we're not making any suggestions in terms of Earth measurements. Typically, we'll be responding to somebody claiming it's a ball and then telling us all about how they measure an angle to Polaris, for example. Or asking us about why we wouldn't see it past the minimum elevation angle measurement of it. Like the guy that did it in the pre-show. Idiots. They think they're being smart when they ask me that. Why don't we see Polaris past the equator? Oh my God, you guys demonstrate your ignorance so quickly.
How do these planar measurements work on a plane, flat earther?
Yeah, that's what they're asking us. They don't even know it because they're too dumb to understand their own religion that they've got in a ball and how that originated in flat earth measurements. They might have heard the name Kepler. What do you think he was using? What was he measuring? Do you know? None of them know. They haven't got a clue. That's
It's
why
a
we've got...
religion completely founded in ignorance.
Yeah, religion totally founded in ignorance. All they know is what they were told by their high school teacher. That's it. They haven't actually gone and done any research, but when they hear somebody say Earth's flat, immediately they brace against it because they've also been taught to hate us. Oh, okay, doesn't change how Earth's measured. And if you use that measurement, you're going to get a strip tore off you by a flat earther. Me, Nathan Oakley, is going to tear a strip off you for using flat earth measurements to assert you're on a bleeding ball. Idiots. Don't you know where your origin measurements came from? My God, why am I having to educate you in your stupid ball religion? Yeah, tell me I'm angry. Most of it's a show. I love that. Trigger a few ball tards. You're angry. No, I'm just trying to trap you into calling you an idiot by ad hom, which you inevitably use when I take that tone with you. Like that teacher tone that's telling you off when you've done something really egregious. Yeah? The server moderators in the pre-show, John, had to say, no, Nathan will take that tone. That doesn't mean he's angry. So I'm like, oh, you want me to be really smiley about it? Oh, you're stupid! They didn't know what the hell to do in that particular scenario. Very amusing.
It's odd when you take all emotional connection away from the argument and just think about what you're saying. You find there's no argument to have.
Yeah, there's no drama in that, is there? I've got an audience. I've still got a YouTube hat to wear. Speaking of which, please share the show. 80 people watching. Smash that share button if you've not done so already. Hit the super chat if you want to support this channel. So that's why there's stony silences if you are in my live stream watching this going, why is there stony silences? It's because no one wants to get told off, because there's nowhere to go anymore if you're on the ball side of this discussion. And you've only got to spend about 10 minutes in the company of us, that's Flat Earth Debate Team, to know damn well that anything you open your mouth to assert that there's a ball beneath your feet with will get knocked immediately into place by pointing out how Earth was measured flat to come to that assumption of a ball. So no one wants to say anything. Typical. But that's how it should be. Yeah? Nobody's calling us idiots. Oh, do you guys think the Earth's flat? Nobody's asking that. They all know exactly what the score is, don't they?
It's a reckoning, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, somebody sitting back right now.
Speak up, Chocolate.
Trying to think.
Oh, maybe not.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, somebody's right now is in the cut, just listening, trying to figure out a way. How can I argue it's a ball while using flat Earth measurements?
How can we sneak it past them?
Yeah. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, 5 years ago, they used to try and sneak the R assumption past us. Like that happened in the pre-show before you got here, Chocolate. I was like, don't beg the question. Third time of him chanting through me, trying to tell him, don't assume your outcome. Give us a flat Earth, give us a globe Earth measurement. Right? By the third attempt, he's like, okay, well, if we've got radius, you're like, no, don't beg the question. 5 years ago, they used to do exactly that. Well, if I can just get the word radius in, now it's immediate. The moment I hear it, no, don't get to beg the question.
If we have the thing that we're trying to prove, then we have the thing we're trying to prove. Get jobs good.
Yeah. But now it's like, over the last year, we had people trying to utilise a flat Earth elevation angle measurement to the sun with sticks and shadows, right? Alexandria and Cyan. And you're like, okay, well, let's let you get to the end of your example and then point out that there's an elevation angle measurement by a question to our opponent. How'd you get an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline in the form of this angle to a shadow? Well, you don't, is the answer to that question. It's housekeeping. But I don't want to take that attitude anymore. No? I've had 10 years of being called idiotic. No, it turns out Earth's measured flat. So you don't get to use that measurement. The minute you start saying Eratosthenes measured Earth to give us a radial value, no, he didn't. He measured Earth flat. Don't use our measurements. I don't care that your story told you about how Earth was measured flat with angles and shadows and sticks. That's a flat Earth measurement. You don't get to use it. I'll stop you from even telling the story. I've heard it. I've heard it for 10 years and heard people apologise for how Earth was actually being measured flat to give them a radial value. And I'm sick of hearing it. No, okay, the moment you mention these sticks and shadows, I shout at you. tell you you're an idiot and tell you that you don't get to use our flat Earth measurements unless you get on your knees. We've got half an hour left here, so at the very least, if anybody did have anything they wanted to quiz us on.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Say again, leftist terrorist.
What's up, sir?
You're just hot micing because you've had a phone call, leftist.
What's up, boy?
You're off
Remember
mute,
what?
hot micing, my friend.
Mm-mm.
Leftist, can you hear me?
Nathan the Wise. You know Nathan the Wise? Nathan the Wise?
What he's
Yeah, that's who
mumbling.
you're talking to.
Yeah, your
Nathan
parents
is
did
very
talk.
wise. Yes.
Nathan the Wise.
Agreed. Nathan is very wise.
Hey, we've established that now.
Oh, thank you. What a compliment. I'm not, I've just got good tutors.
Nathan the Wise. From
Hey, wide? Are
Jerusalem.
you calling me fat?
No, I think he's saying wise.
Can you give
Okay.
me some butter?
It sounded like
Nathan the
white
Grey.
to me with a D.
Clear as crystal, terrorist.
Kill
Anyway.
the wise one.
Like I say, it's
It
good
is
So
tutors.
let me tell you something, okay?
Feel free.
Let me tell you. Do you know something about structuralism or structure realism?
Structural what?
Structural realism is the view that insofar as scientific theories offer true descriptions of reality, they do not tell us about the nature of things underlying the phenomena. Right?
This is a new one on me.
Yeah, it's more about equations. You know?
Equations?
So, if we talk
He's trying to
facts here, the flat Earth theory
He's trying to-
doesn't have any structure, so there is no fundament. Therefore, it is disapproved, sir.
Can't really make out what you're saying. I'm really sorry.
I think I heard enough to respond. You're saying that science gives you the answer to what is questions. That is wrong. It's not a theory. It's just a fact. You measure Earth flat. How it is.
Shout out to Stephen Davies for the super chat. Big shout out to Nathan and all the FED panel. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah,
Shout
science,
out to you too, brother.
science only deals in cause and effect. Very, very narrow.
Hey, what's your
Yeah.
opinion on the Eratosthenes guy, like the Shadow Earth guy?
Good guy. Measured Earth flat.
Yeah, we
Like-
like him.
Apparently, some dude ages ago with sticks and shadows and some math.
Yeah,
Like,
according to the
figured
story.
the Earth was round or something.
No, he measured it flat.
He's our hostile witness.
He measured Earth flat.
They all are.
Yeah, all measurements of Earth are flat. That's no exception. So Eratosthenes, what's he measuring? He's measuring elevation angles, isn't he?
I think he was measuring the shadow cast from a stick in different places.
Yeah, that's an elevation angle of the sun. Measuring the solar elevation angle. It's a flat
So,
Earth measurement.
like, he's working with too many assumptions.
No,
you'd
he's
say.
just measuring an elevation angle. No assumption, just a flat Earth measurement. So good guy, measuring Earth flat.
Are they lying? Are they misrepresenting what he thought when they tell me that he thought it was round?
Do you want to explain to me how he could think it was round when he measures it flat? I don't really understand. Maybe you can explain it to me.
I don't know, I just watched the video and it's like he measures the angle of the shadow from a stick in this one place at a time
say
when
angle?
apparently there's this other place where there's no shadow on the stick. And those two places are like 800 kilometers apart. And then the angle that's cast, like the shadow angle from the stick in the place where he is, it's like 7.2 degrees or whatever. And then using ratios, he figures that the Earth's circumference is like 40,000 kilometers.
No, that's
So
a
because
violation
of,
of his. That's a violation of his measurement, though. So he's measuring an elevation angle to the sun at Alexandria. Stick and shadow to give him an angle. You gave it in degrees, correct? That's a flat Earth measurement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an angle, isn't it?
It's an angle, a shadow angle, yeah, from the stick.
Yeah. Well, that's not something meeting a baseline that's curving. It's a straight, flat baseline for an angle. It's a flat Earth measurement. It's an elevation angle with respect to a flat baseline. Earth is being measured flat for that angle.
Yeah, for that 7.2 degree calculation, yeah. And then he goes further and assumes 360 degrees.
Stop. It's not a calculation, it's a measurement.
Oh, yeah, measurement.
Yeah, so he measures
And
Earth
then,
flat. Yes, so that measurement is of a flat Earth. Ipso facto, it's a degree. It can't be a curved line along the base, or it wouldn't be an angle. So, matter of fact, it's a measurement of a flat Earth. Do you understand that now?
Yeah, there's a base. There's like that flat base, and there's an angle on the base, yeah.
So, cool guy measured Earth flat.
And maybe he had a cool story
more
attached
to it, though, right?
Maybe
Hold on,
maybe he
Chocolate.
did have
Hold
an
on, Chocolate.
assumption.
Just hold on. Say again, my friend.
Like there's more to it after that, though, right?
Sorry, was there another measurement? Was there a ball Earth measurement after that flat Earth measurement? What was the other measurement he made?
Well, he minuses 7.2.
That's not a measurement. That's a
360.
calculation, sir. Sorry, you didn't seem to hear me. I'll say it a second time. If I have to repeat it a third, I'll start getting irritated. That's a calculation that you're about to detail, isn't it? It's not a measurement. I asked you, and I'll repeat it a second time.
Yeah. What
globe measurement did he make?
Yeah, none. Just a calculation.
So he did definitely measure Earth flat. So we're all clear the only measurement that was made was of a flat Earth. But you seem to want to tell me about how he did something with that flat Earth measurement about it being ball-shaped. That's irritating. Very irritating. Can you not do that again? Don't use our flat Earth that's measured to tell me some bullshit story about a man that probably never existed and how he calculated some shithead sphericity after measuring Earth flat. That's really irritating. I will mock you for it if you do it again. Is that clear?
Yeah, I only need to bring it up once. It's okay.
It's not. It's not okay. Don't use our measurements. Don't use our stuff. It's not okay. Don't take my stuff and then tell me it's okay. That's irritating too. Just say, I understand, I won't use your stuff again. You're starting to annoy me. Don't use my stuff. Don't use my measurements to say, we calculated a ball with the flat Earth measurements you now understand were measured. There wasn't a ball measurement being made. Don't use our stuff. Is that clear?
Yeah.
It's just a simple yes. You understand, right?
Yeah.
Jolly good. Now everyone can calm down. You know, no one needs to be mocked or ridiculed. We'll keep our flat Earth measurements. You keep your stupid ball belief, and everyone will be happy.
See, it may sound harsh, but we've been allowing this to happen for many, many years. At first, we didn't realize it, but then we did. And now we're getting a little annoyed that you keep using our measurements.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
have to.
But we can breathe easy when they concede they won't do that. And then we're like, oh, okay, that's no worries. We'll keep the flat Earth measurements for ourselves on the flat Earth, and you keep your stupid spinning ball faith flying through a sky vacuum. Good for you. Yeah, John.
Well, they have to steal our measurements so they can co-opt the celestial sphere diagram and say it's a model to reify it into existence, to claim that the plane that they just used is actually curving.
Yeah, they
But
violate.
we're not allowing that no more.
Yeah, we're not going to allow it. Exactly. Stop them. I mean, if they're going to assert the flat Earth measurements, then they can do that. You know, obviously they're flat Earthers at that point. until they start telling us about the calculations that are being utilised with flat Earth measurements that violate those flat Earth measurements because Earth's going to be curved at the end of the process. That's absurd.
It's kind of big.
Again?
It's just kind of big.
What is?
The Earth.
Yeah, Earth's massive. As far as we know, there's lots of surface, all flat. Lots of big flat surfaces that we all dwell atop and measure. Yes, Earth's very big. Big and flat. Everywhere that it's being measured.
One big ocean, too, it seems.
I don't know about ocean, but we do utilise that as part of the measurement. Sea level. All altitudes of everything ever are going to be described with respect to sea level. That's a flat Earth that's being utilised to describe the heights of things. Altitudes. Off sea level. A flat Earth. But yeah, you won't be getting to use those sorts of measurements if you're a ball believer. What do you mean you're going to be using your height? No, that's a flat Earth measurement. What do you mean you're going to be using distance in kilometres? Between, what, Cyan and Alexandria? No, that's a linear distance that we'll be needing a flat Earth to describe. You don't get to use distances and measurements of any kind. If you're on a ball, what are you doing? Stop using our stuff. Don't use distances, don't use miles, don't use kilometres. Those are all ours. Those are flat Earth prerequisites. Don't use those. You'll get shouted at by me. My name's Nathan Oakley, the one shouting at you for using flat Earth measurements. You don't get to do that anymore. Ever. If you're on a ball, you just get to hold your ball faith. That's all you get to do. Believe that you're flying around the sun. Good for you, you can believe that. Believe you're Superman. Described from inside a ball that's made with flat Earth measurements that we can educate you about if you're tolerant, which most of you aren't.
Yeah, once you say altitude, you're done. Once you say height, you're done. Once you say
miles,
what's another one, Nathan?
Miles,
you're done.
Angle, north, south, east,
up,
rising,
up, down. You don't get to use any of these words. They're all ours. Up? You don't have up on a ball. What are you talking about?
Per square inch.
Yeah, inch is a flat Earth description.
Yeah, your descriptions of measurements require a Cartesian plane to create them. The Cartesian plane has to reference reality for it to be a measurement. So any measurement ipso facto needs that Cartesian plane.
Yeah, like on my diagram on screen. See this dude? This is you. See this area? This is a flat plane. Yeah? See how you're describing angles for things like satellites and orbital motions and north, all with respect to this plane? You see how the equator is being depicted as a circle with you standing inside a giant protractor? That'll get called Earth later. Of course, nobody's measuring angles in hell. But that's how your orbital motions work when you're measuring flat Earth elevation angles off a flat plane, like described in this picture. Because that's what Earth is measured as. A flat plane. Because that's what Earth is. Obviously, there's a ball belief that people have been fed since birth. But that's fine, you can keep that belief. Just don't use our measurements and everything will be fine. 100 people watching, woohoo! Please share the show if you've not done so already. The only reason we've got 100 people watching is because there's people smashing that share button. So smash that share button and stick it on your favourite social media platform, be that Bebo or MySpace or wherever it is you kids use these days.
But Nathan, you're not giving them any room to move, though.
That's because there isn't any Earth's measured flat. There isn't any ball belief or extraction to be taken from our flat Earth measurements that I've been using since I got here. And I'm sick of it. So, no, I'm not giving them a single smegging inch to wiggle in. No, you're right, Neil.
On the contrary, they have a big old flat plane that they can move around on. Literally, they tell us how they measure it that way in order to tell us afterwards that it's a ball. Yeah, they got plenty of room.
Just give us ball measurements. Not 10 repetitions of what do you mean measurements of a ball? No, I just explained a minute ago that I measure Earth flat because it's really big. And my assumption that it's a really big sphere comes after I've measured it flat. What's wrong with that? Yeah, there's a lot wrong with that, and we'll be telling you all about it.
Hey, Nathan, I was going to say, would you have any kind of leniency on a globe that comes in and says, "Hey Nathan, can I borrow your flat Earth measurements just so that I can conceptualize and create our imaginary, fantastical globe that we like to believe in"? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
As
You
long
just
as you pay.
first get on your knees and worship at the altar of flat Earth, which is what you'll be using and asking to borrow. So profess the fact of the flat Earth measurement that you'll be borrowing to assert your ball belief, and then you can borrow it for a bit. In other words, acknowledge how Earth will be flat for this requirement you have to believe in a ball, and then you can borrow it. No worries. On your knees. Earth's flat. And when you say
that's
no,
fair.
I'm not going to drop down to my knees. I'll say you'll need a flat Earth for down. I'm not talking about going in or out onto your knees. Get down on them. You'll need a flat Earth for that description.
It was kind of funny. Like I went back and listened to some of your older shows before we caught it, what they were doing. And it is so flagrant that that's probably why it was missed. It's just so obvious and at the front, you know. It's writing it in the headline. And it just slips by everybody.
Yeah, Crit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I bumped my push to talk button.
That's all right. Now, what John's pointing out is that it's like the dancing bear when you're trying to count how many people jumped rope during the song. And there's two teams doing different styles of jump rope. And they say, try and pay attention to one or the other. Pay attention to the green team or the red team. How many jump ropes did they do? And they play the song, and you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're really trying to concentrate and count the number of jump ropes. And then they go, right, okay, have you got your number? And you all go, yeah, 76 jump ropes. Did you see the bear? You go, what? The bear? What bear? The bear that was moving in and out of shot while you were counting jump ropes. You go, no, what bear? Then they rewind the tape and show you that while you were counting jump ropes, a guy dressed in a bear suit walked through shot, dancing as he did so without anybody noticing. And you go, no way! And they go, did you notice that the entire room changed colour? You're like, what? You're like, check it out, the green room you're now looking at whilst telling me it's 72 jump ropes started off blue. Did you not notice? You go, no, I didn't notice any of that! How did that happen? You're like, yeah, you're not paying attention. Well, we weren't paying attention when they told us how they utilise surface level for their height above it to derive a point in the distance based on eye level, parallel with surface level, in a calculation called earth curve mathematics. And it had labelled in that earth curve mathematics the words surface level. And it was flat. And we never even noticed. Right there, hanging out like a bear in a jump rope competition. And we never noticed. It's amazing. Neither did any of you guys, did you? We're ahead of the game. But yet we get told we're behind the curve. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and you ask me why I'm angry. I'm not really. I just put it on for show. I've got an audience. I can turn it off instantly too. But it's fun while I'm shouting at you, right? You're enjoying me putting on that tone with you, aren't you, boltards? You love being shouted at. You wouldn't be using flat earth measurements unless you like being shouted at by Nathan Oakley. One can only assume you enjoy it. Bunch of sadists. Me, I'm not masochistic. I'm just short on tolerance for people using my stuff. Don't use my stuff and I won't get annoyed with you. It's really easy. Don't use flat earth measurements if you want to be on a ball.
And it literally starts with you saying it's too big to measure the curve. That's you going into my garage trying to steal my lawnmower. Like, don't even do it. It's not supposed to be too big to measure the curve. You're supposed to be measuring curve. That's the whole damn point.
I like that one. That was a good one. Like, excuse me, what are you doing? I'm just looking for
I'm not stealing your lawnmower. That's definitely not what I'm doing. Are you an idiot? You stupid clown. What makes you think I'm taking your lawnmower? Well, there isn't even a lawnmower here.
Basically, yep.
Yeah, don't use our stuff. Don't use flat Earth measurements. It's really easy. Got 10 minutes left.
They
in
need to
Discord
cut their
on
grass.
politics.
They
Say
really
again?
need to cut that grass.
Yeah. You're being
But they
called a
will
retard
use
by
the
the
lawnmower.
thieves. That's what's happening. Someone thieves your stuff and then calls you a retard as you point out that they're thieving your stuff.
And that right there is them telling me to put gas in the lawnmower after they stole it.
Oh, freaking nerve.
The nerve
had-
of some people.
Say again,
And then
Crit?
tell me, oh, you're upset. Oh, what?
Well, we've been putting up with it for 10 years now. It's time we put our foot down, and that's it. No more.
Maybe it wasn't intended to be this way. Maybe we're not supposed to be here after 10 years. Maybe that's the length of the cycle. They anticipate it growing to a certain size just so that it can be mocked and ridiculed and put back in its place by the end of the process, as opposed to having us at the end going, don't use our stuff, that's a flat Earth you'll be measuring.
Well, I think
Right.
you're onto something there, Nathan. You're right. Because there wasn't social media the last time Flat Earth was a thing.
Well, there
Now
was.
there's social media.
There was. It was just a lot more low-key, so it was message boards
Not
and
like
forums.
it is now.
It's not like it is now with live broadcasts, no, but there was message boards and forums and people discussing it on the internet.
It's almost
The
as
final
if the
experiment
final
kind of failed as an
experiment
off-ramp for
was
this, didn't it?
That was what I was driving at. Is
Yeah.
that Barry? Barry Yardstead? Yeah.
Barnyard.
Amish. Yeah, it's
Barnyard.
It's Amish.
Barnyardstead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were hoping that that would end in people shutting down their channels.
Channels are bigger than ever now.
Shut your channel.
Except for
Shut.
Gerrans. He lost a lot of subscribers.
It's like the Streisand effect. Like people didn't even really pay attention. Like they're always kind of doing their own thing, worry about their own little lives. And then somebody does like this thing that says, hey, everybody, look over there. And then people look. And like, oh, that's pretty fascinating. Flat Earth. Let me check that out. And the globalers like, no, don't check it out. Well, why did you point over there then? Like, what is wrong with your logic? If you want someone to ignore a topic, don't highlight that topic. But
Like
they can't
Leslie
because they're
Nielsen getting-
obsessed.
It's like Leslie Nielsen getting in front of the fireworks explosion, saying there's nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here, folks.
That's the ballers. Yeah.
There's that skit from the Monty Python. It's like, you know, like John, I can't remember the character's name, but John Smith, would you please stand up? And then the guy stands up and they like drop a mortar on him. It's like, see, the advantages of blending in. If you think Flat Earth is so stupid, so completely irrelevant and harmful at the same time, just let it blend in with all the other crap on the internet you don't like. But they'll prop it up. Their whole persona is all about talking about Flat Earth, and then they're confused as to why people talk about Flat Earth. You're raising the topic. Duh.
I typically round out the live show in about 5 minutes, but I've been moaned at by my own panel the last couple of weeks for dropping out of politics. So with because I like, don't moan and say you're leaning on the mods too much. They don't mind. They don't mind having you there. That's what I've had. Just so you're informed of what I get after I say, oh, we'll only be here 5 more minutes, etc.
Wow, is that how we sound? Yeah, really?
Yes, that is how you sound. Right. So with that in mind, I'm done. I'm happy with what we've achieved, and I will, in case it goes Pete Tong, I doubt it, thank all the mods for doing what they do, typically in the hour that we're here on a Friday. But I'm going to hang around anyway, even though it's strictly speaking the end of my live show and I've achieved what I want to achieve. Is it okay if we hang around a little bit? Maybe we'll hang around for half an hour, see what discussion develops.
Sure, you better take advantage of it because I have to go to work in
D, you're not in Discord.
Politics. He's asking politics.
My God.
You're very welcome, Nathan.
Well, hang around for another half an hour then. I won't pipe up and try and dominate the conversation. Is what I'm saying for the next half an hour. If it goes silent, so be it.
Unless a
By the
numpty
way,
comes in.
By the way, Crit, it's good to hear you, man. What's going on?
Yeah, everything's good, chocolate.
I was about to do that.
I've always had a question. In politics, do they discuss politics?
Well, it depends on which section.
politics?
Any other
This
rooms?
section of politics, I should point that out for my audience, right?
Okay.
So for my audience, as you can see at the top of the stream on the right-hand side of the live stream page, the visual page, it says 24/7 Flat Earth, right? That's the subcategory of the politics Discord server. So it's discord.com and then the channel name politics, right? That's the server. But this section is just one of many. So I'll scroll through them so my audience can see what this server has to offer as opposed to just the Flat Earth section. So there's an abortion debate section, there's a conspiracy section, there's a voice chat. Well, I think I'm going the wrong way. I'll go down as opposed to up. Here we go. So they've got Trump-based discussion, God ain't real discussion, LGBTQ discussion. You can get a general idea. There's all sorts of things in politics, and they're obviously all political in one form or another, hence the title of the overarching Discord server. Yeah. So join the politics server. I'll just do my plug and then I'm done. So hopefully one of my mods from the live stream chat will stick a link to the politics server. It's a good server. You'll find something to do if you're interested in politics of any description. Flat Earth falls into that category, hence it's got the most popular section in this particular server. I'm sure there's plenty of people who'll tell me how they hate that fact. Lots of people don't like that it's a very popular part of the server.
Oh, they hate
it's
it.
going nuts.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, but I would say that it is kind of in the wrong place for things to discuss. We're kind of in the wrong category.
Interesting. So before I came on here, I didn't even know Google Plus had this. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very computer literate. You know, I'm pretty much on my third semester, as it's being 6 semesters. My siblings tease me about that, but still, I'm aware to be able to navigate and get online and do my bills and stuff like that. But I came from a place called Clubhouse. I think I mentioned this to you guys before on a panel. And I guess it's the same thing. They have different categories. They discuss all kinds of things. They have these different rooms.
Is that the
with these
it's like homosexual brothel?
Negative.
What was it? Remind us.
Negative. They talk about sports, politics, COVID, you know, flat
The
Earth.
YMCA.
Flat Earth. They talk about esoteric stuff and all that stuff with the ether, all kinds of different things. Same thing over here what they talk about. They even got an LGBTQ section right there. So, and that was the first time I had got put on that by an elder mentor of mine, Grand Mixer DXT, who invited me in as a guest. And then I got out of there because there was a lot of Discord 1,000-fold, like just arguing, going back and forth. I was like, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. So I left. And then that's when I came on here and jumped on this one, thanks to Divergent. He put me on and Righteous and everything. So, but I didn't know that it was more topics other than Flat Earth versus the globe and all that. So that's pretty cool.
You get in Discord. You could get on politics in
I
Discord.
did. I have. But before I was on the panel.
So you'll have a good old time, yeah.
No, I don't. I get into fights because my tolerance for numpty and assholishness is very low. And I just, no.
I get away with blue murder in there. I don't think most people probably wouldn't get away with what I get away with in there. But I don't know. I push the limits to the absolute extreme in politics, and I get away with it. So be it.
Celebrity status there, or
maybe
infamy is the top of fame. So your infamy allows you.
Not everybody likes it. The guys in Earth Awakenings definitely don't. We're not appreciated everywhere. Not surprisingly.
Earth Awakenings. Oh, I can't believe there's no ballers in there.
There is.
In this server right now, not
There
talking.
is.
What's going on, guys?
Nathan, question, because I have to check in after reporting. We start at 10. I know you're pretty much hanging around, but is your show going to be ending? Because you usually have a show after 11. Because my lunch starts at 12. Will you still be Google open, or are you going to be locking us down?
Nah, I never lock anything
prematurely?
down. Typically, this people hang around in these hangouts for hours after I've disappeared, so don't worry about it either way. As long as you've made your way into one of the hangouts, that's why I keep telling the live stream to post the link to politics.
You know how long we were in G Plus yesterday?
Go on.
A long time.
Okay. I was violently ill.
Well, was it a long time and then it curbed, or was it?
Well, it
long-
depends if you're talking about secondary measurements.
Yeah, I love that.
I was here while you were talking about that. I mean, I wasn't recording for whatever. I felt terrible, and then I was like, I'm going to go and have a lie down, and then I immediately threw up.
And I bet you felt better.
Not really, if I'm honest. I still feel really rough.
Usually when you heave it out, you feel so much better.
Nah, not at all.
I still don't accept second order measurements as just calculations based on measurement.
That's what it's called, second order measurements. I was saying secondary. Same thing, but it's labeled second order measurements. I've been hearing that for the last 3 days now. That's their new thing, the Baltards.
Yeah, I could understand if you was calling it second order because you established a flat plane and then took an angle off that flat plane. You have your first order would be the establishment of the flat plane with the level, and then your second order would be an angle to it or with respect to it. That, I can accept that, but measurement is not calculation. It's just not.
Yeah, the guy couldn't think of the name of it earlier, and that's what he was driving at. Second order measurements.
You don't. I mean, I've seen Adam's point with calculating the distance traveled in a circle of equal altitude. You kind of call that a second order measurement. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to call it a measurement.
Well, it's not. If you're calculating it, it's a calculation, correct?
Yeah. And it's not like calculation's a bad word as long as it ain't contradicting your measurement. If it's helping describe your measurement's relationship with something else, that's great. Job's good.
It's like an imperative almost, isn't it? It's like a requirement of the geometry. Not that you're directly measuring it, but when you have other pieces of information, then what else could it be?
Yeah. Well, like with PV equals nRT, right? All of those individual things within that equation can be measured. You can measure pressure. You can measure volume. You can measure particles per million. The energy within the gas itself, temperature. It's all made up of measurements. And PV equals nRT shows how those measurements relate. But it's still a calculation, not a measurement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just sounds like they're just playing linguistic games and trying to get you to accept that the words they're using make any sense.
Yes.
Yeah, stuff points to stuff. Stuff says stuff. It's real new. It's new science.
Depends what your
I
meaning
know
of
that
is.
voice. Get up, Demark. New
is it?
science.
Sorry, who is it?
DMOC.
DMOC.
Oh, okay.
Don't get shy on us now.
Are you talking to me still? Oh, I said it.
Yeah.
I said there's
Yeah, don't
science.
take
The
my
new
ring.
science points to stuff, and it talks. It talks for people. They're like, this thing says this. I'm like, it says it. It points to stuff. That's cool.
It's like the Holy Ghost.
Yeah. It's pointing a finger. It's like, it's not me, but it's this over here. It's that. It's not. I didn't do it. That did.
The spirit of science.
Well, the body of science will compel you.
That's a good one. The body of science compels you.
You must have faith in the science.
It's odd. It's like when you have, like, you don't believe you exist. You know what I mean? Like, if you're basing it on evidence, then it's not a belief. But they want everything to be belief, so they can put it in that if statement and discard it if it contradicts their worldview. You know what I mean? Like, they want
Yeah.
everything to be an if statement.
Well, we're having an effect because when we first came out here, there was the law of gravity. I don't hear that said anymore. It's very rare do I hear somebody say the law of gravity. So we're
They
having
say
an
theory.
impact.
They say the theory of gravity a lot, though, don't they?
Yes, yeah, they do. They say other things of gravity, but it's the magic word.
Either that or it's. Oh, I don't know. Next question.
Oh yeah, like the wild speculation of gravity based on planar measurements, doesn't sound as good.
Oh, here's a good one. The direction of gravity.
Yeah, all those directions are with respect to a plane, and it's gravity. Why not?
How does a force that's not a force have a direction?
Because it's an emerging force.
It's like the planar measurements that's not of a plane. The force that's not a force. Why not? When you accept absurdity, you'll keep going with it.
Or you have the other meatball. I measured Earth not to be flat.
Well, how did you do that? With how overall flat it is. I measured it against that. See this mountain? That's the true globe. Neil, didn't you hear?
Yeah, well, he's on this dichotomy nonsense bed with the. Well, then it's a true dichotomy.
When you point out that there's not two choices, and he wants to say then that's a true dichotomy. There is a false dichotomy at play. He just don't get it. I'm pretty sure Bev said that the globe is flat. The true globe is flat. Do with that what you want.
Yeah, the globe is measured flat. That's what I always say. I want to know what Eli said that he's in trouble for. I still don't know.
Well, when QE gets here, we'll ask him, won't we?
Ooh, somebody's got to report to Daddy.
I love when other people are in trouble and not me.
We're all waiting to find that out. Apparently, I'm in trouble too.
Yeah, Huey said we have to wait till today.
Well, if it's in the next 20 minutes, you'll find out in Discord.
Hey, if it's any consolation, guys, I knew the atom existed. I knew it was a discrete point. I knew all these things, and I still called it a convention. And I got, like, just don't take yourself too serious. Sometimes it's like the numpty effect. You're trying to communicate with somebody, and you're making these concessions just so you can get across an idea to them that they're talking about.
Oh, you got the best from QE. What did your IQ go down?
Yeah, it did. It dropped. Like I'm trying to speak retard, and I don't ever do that.
Even if Brian or Adam was here, because he said Brian and Adam. Well, Adam was trying to make be nice or give excuse for Jedi, I guess, or something like that. I don't know, but none of them are here. It's fucking, excuse my language. It's dang, man. Where y'all at?
Oh, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Is that what they're in trouble for?
Yeah.
Big Daddy Fleur.
Oh, I heard something about it. I did hear that yesterday.
So what is it?
I don't know. I was hearing in the background. I heard Big Daddy Flurf. I heard Jedi's voice. There was something going on, and I missed it.
Oh, it's nothing huge. It's just but he's going to tease you about it, so just get ready. It has to do with the points of rotation.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch all of it, but there was
we had
a
whole live show about it.
Yeah. There was a positive claim made in the show that we were watching, and the positive claim made by you and Jedi, I think. I didn't hear all of it, so I can't hold you to task on it.
He said that Jedi said directions. I didn't hear directions come out his mouth once. That could have been me, though. I for damn sure didn't say directions. That's the only clue he gave us, and his tactic is always, or his response to that is always, all the stars go to the east and to the west, which nobody is denying.
Well,
but
I think
none of us here live, while we discussed it at length when we were talking about, the NASCAR racetrack or whatever it was, nobody denied that whole conversation when we were talking about, you're going in the same direction, but if you're going in a circle, therefore you'd be going east to west, west to east, north to south, south to north, blah 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 blah. So what gives?
Like I said, I wasn't there for all of it, but I know that when they said Big Daddy, I heard Big Daddy Fleur, and
which is me.
Right. And that's how I knew that you were involved in it some way. But I can't give you all the information on it because I don't have it. I'm sorry, bud.
That's fine. I guess we have to wait.
Yeah. Oh, QE told you to wait. You'll find out about it Monday.
No, until today. He said wait till today. So
I just sent messages out to them to get their butts here.
Yeah, he's leading you guys along, is what it is. He's building the what is it called, where you get people hyped about something and then you lead them
he said
along.
that. He said he likes doing that. It's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's got Nathan to the point where when you hear Nathan say idea, he wants to say model, but his new word for model is idea.
Why is diagram such a bad word? I don't get that. That's just what it is. It's a diagram. Like QE even agreed to diagram. Why don't we use diagram?
No, one day what we got to do, we got to all use the word model throughout the whole show.
Yeah, and when he says what model, say, you know, that model. Keep on like playing word games with it.
Which diagram are you talking about?
The celestial sphere. You know, they call it the
And it's
celestial
2
sphere
points
model.
in reference to the 2 points of rotation. Is that what the
But
conversation
yeah, that's
is
the
about?
only way you can. Well, yeah, kind of. Like I said, I ain't got all the information to tell you. I wish I was having to run and chase kids at the time, so I'm sorry.
I live 40 degrees south, so I get to look south and observe it.
And what do you observe?
It's pretty much the same as what I observed when I was in the north, looking towards Polaris. No significant differences, really.
May I ask, north was always pointing to the center of Sigma Octantis. Is that correct?
South lines up with
right.
with that area of It's a dull
that point.
There's a dull star there that's about a degree off that point.
Okay, so it's wobbling in the sky?
Same way that Polaris does if you zoom in far enough. Polaris is like 0.6 of a degree. I think Sigma Octantis is like a bit over a degree.
And okay, so it's 0.6 for Polaris, and in the south, Octantis is over a degree.
Yeah. But other than that, roughly the same.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I can't explain it.
Yeah. So there is a potential observation you could make. I'm in the middle of my winter, looking south, early in the evening, when the stars come out. Crux is quite close to the horizon, and it like due south. And so that star, one of the stars in the constellation of the Southern Cross, is about 5,000 nautical miles to my south. And simultaneously, it's nighttime near the Sandwich Isles. I always get it wrong. Sandwich Isles or the Thursday Isles, the islands off the coast of Argentina that are
South Sandwich Island.
South Sandwich Islands. And it'll be early in the morning for them and still dark enough to look straight up and see the crux. So at their zenith position. I find that interesting.
The Southern Cross, is it their zenith position?
One of the, yeah, roughly.
Yeah, when you get in the south, it just it gets a little bit wonky. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, no one has a problem talking about what the Dipper does as it works its way around Polaris. Like, you could be in England, and at a certain point, the Dipper would line up with north, you know, look at due north.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I ain't got
And
no,
then someone in
it-
Russia would, they would look up and see what they see. So it's same thing.
no.
As far as I can tell.
There's no problem with that. It's in the south though, with Octantis and that 1 degree of wobble. Because Polaris is that that 0.6 degrees isn't affecting the Dipper. Is Octantis's wobble equal throughout to the Southern Cross, or is it?
Well,
It's a sign.
so the Big Dipper, you can think of it like the arms of a clock. Over the course, especially during winter, you'll see it trace quite a path. There'll be a 12 o'clock position, a 3 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, and it'll move through the sky with
Absolutely
Polaris forming the
understand
center of the clock, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So when I look due south, that position in the sky is always there. It doesn't sweep across, or it's just right there. It lines up with my compass.
Yes, I understand what
the
you're
crux
saying.
always points
I do.
roughly to that area. Yeah.
But the wobble that we were talking about, right? So you imagine that clock, and you're holding the clock, and you're doing a slight gyration of the clock, and you get that 0.6 degrees of wobble in the north. But that wobble is only with respect to Polaris. It doesn't affect any other stars. Does the southern wobble affect its relationship with the other stars?
Motherfuckers, why am I fucking... What? I clicked on the wrong button.
Mute him, please. Thank you.
So that wobble, if you take a star trail long exposure zoomed in, it's basically an arc that Polaris traces around an essentially empty space, right?
Yes.
And so it does the same thing in the south. It just traces an arc around a fixed empty space. Nothing else wobbles. Everything traces arcs,
Yes, I understand what you're saying. But does thinking how to say this. The Big Dipper, its trajectory around Polaris is not affected by Polaris's slight 0.6 degree wobble. You know what I mean? Is the Southern Cross also wobbling with respect to that point, or not?
The angular distance between any particular star and that point does not change. Same way that the angular distance between the Big Dipper and the point that Polaris is going around doesn't change.
Oh, that's so weird. Because you would think if it's changing, right, that wobble is changing its position, then everything would have to be changing.
Hold on, someone's baby's dying.
Either with respect.
Could someone sort that choking baby out? Somebody's got
That's
a baby.
killing me, man.
It was a sneezing baby.
Just concerned.
He was sneezing and coughing. Sorry.
Okay, not choking, not dying. That's okay then.
That would have had QE losing his mind.
I'm holding the bucket for him, man.
Jolly good.
It would have been like, thanks, John. We really needed that, John. Thanks.
I've caused this endless. I'm really sorry.
It's not the polar point that wobbles, right? The polar points are fixed, and everything just traces arcs around them. I mean, it's not that Polaris wobbles, it's just tracing a very small arc. I mean, 0.6 degrees or whatever it is. So I wouldn't call what Polaris does a wobble as such.
No. Just two rotation poles in the sky. One north, one south.
Their subpoints are called poles. They seem to be fixed positions.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not in any way trying to say it's not. I'm just trying to understand the
It's amazing the amount of
northern
pushback I've got on this.
the southern wall.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised as well.
Yeah, because that
Wait till we start.
aspect has been turned into
Go
a
on.
sphere model. That's why. Or an alleged to
well, we
be
know.
sphere
Yeah.
model.
But we're past that now, right? Like,
I would have thought so. No. It would be nice if that was the case, Endless, but as TFE has taught us, definitely not the case, eh? Right?
yeah. I mean, most of the flat earthers I've talked to have been fine with it. Some have,
Some of them need cope.
mostly fine. I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I can empathise. I remember that feeling about 9 years ago. Whenever we did the sun tracking and figured out the map weren't right, you're like, oh, and your heart sinks. So I can empathise if someone's at that stage now as a result of TFE and they're a flatty. You're like, no, I can relate. Yeah, I remember the day when you were like, yeah, this is the world map as it is. Until you check and it ends. And then you go, oh dear.
It was a very interesting couple of months. I have to, for all his faults, have to thank David Weiss for putting me on that path. But yeah, it was about 2 months of thinking some very bizarre things.
Like what?
Oh, all of it. All the feast of nonsense. It's a shorthand.
Oh, you're saying you got
Like
Dave Weiss to thank for all the
magnet.
nonsense? Go ahead, John.
Well, I got Dave Weiss to thank
like
for looking into the topic at all. But I also have to thank him for thinking some very bizarre things for about 2 months before I got my head on straight.
Fair enough. Go ahead, John.
Did you accept this? Did you accept the sun was some sort of electromagnet within a toroidal field passing on above a flat plane?
I was
pancake?
open to the idea for a while.
That's a yes.
I mean,
It's on the table. We get it. We're not going to hold you to that. We're not going to hold you to that. We're just saying, did you partake in that particular delicacy at the Feast of Nonsense? And I think the answer is yes.
Oh yeah. No, I gobbled all of it up. It was great. It was great fun. Like, for me, I looked into all sorts of different topics before I got to this one. And so the moment I accepted the truth of Flat Earth, my entire worldview on all sorts of things went in an instant. From Big Bangs to dinosaurs, to all sorts of stuff, all in one go. And I guess, looking back on it, that sort of thing, it leaves you vulnerable, right?
Yep.
The desperation to feel what I thought was, 3 decades or more of knowledge turns out to just be just a giant steaming pile of horseshit.
So there's a void left.
The brain seeks.
There's an empty space that leaves for someone to fill, right?
Absolutely.
Right, this time in earnest, I'm going to say a massive thank you to Discord. That's Politics Discord server. So hopefully one of my mods in the live stream chat will put a link to the Discord server that we were in today, which is called Politics. So you can join, and it is a good server. So be sure to do exactly that. Link will be going by in the live stream chat. Another massive thank you to my G Plus panel for making today's live show possible. If you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned. There will be an after show to follow. Once again, if you are watching live, this is where we bid you farewell also. So massive thanks to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.